Welcome to the last tutorial of this section, and the tutorial is about how to use aliases in Linux. Basically, let me give you a quick recap of what we have covered till now so that it is better to understand. Let me give you a quick recap of what we have done till now in this section so that we better understand how to approach this tutorial. In the chapter about redirection, we learned that multiple smaller commands can be combined together using a pipe, and it can give an output at the end of the pipeline. Using the T command and xargs command, we can redirect the data midway to some file, as well as at the same time the T command will take the output from the previous command and it can supply it to the next command in the pipeline. We saw that by combining multiple commands and concepts of redirection and piping and using various other commands like grep, xargs and many more, we can make a very complex and powerful command, but it is humanly not possible to type that entire command every time. So for that, we use aliases in Linux, which means we can give nicknames to all our such commands that cannot be typed multiple times, and it is easier to remember using the nicknames for later use. So let's go ahead to the command line term. So let's go ahead to our terminal window and explore how to write the aliases. So let's go to our command line terminal and explore how to create a term. So with this, let's go ahead to the command line terminal. So with this, let's go ahead to the terminal window and start exploring how to create our own alias. And that was all about the first section of this tutorial. So that was all about the first section of this course, the fundamentals of Linux administration. I really hope that you had enjoyed it. Now, with this happy note, I will end this section over here, and I will be seeing you in the next section, that is fundamentals. And with this happy note, I will end this section over here, and I'll be seeing you in the next section, that is Linux file system. So now we are into our terminal window. Before we start writing the commands, let me first show you something else. I'll be going to my home window. When I open my home folder, you can notice that there are these many files. Even when I do ls, and even if I use my ls command in my home directory, you can notice that only these many files are available. So basically these blue colored highlighted, so basically the ones that are highlighted in blue are directories, or you can call it a folder, which are having files inside them, and the ones which are highlighted in white, those are the normal files. Okay. So that is how we understand it from the command line terminal. So when we go to the preference window, and we can see that there are some hidden files. Right now it is unchecked. When I check this file, so I'll be able to see that there are certain more files which I was not able to see. To see the same thing from our command line terminal, the command is ls with a dash and a option. Okay, so this will display all the content inside the directory. So now you can notice that there are these many files already existing. So how do we know that which one is a hidden file and which one is a general file that is not hidden? So you can notice that all those files that are hidden are having a dot symbol prefixed with it. So the name itself starts with a dot. So similarly, the cache, config, and local, all these folders, all these files are hidden and stored into our system, which we are not even aware of when we just see it in one glance. So why am I explaining you is, this is where we will create our aliases. Okay, so what we need to do is just open text editor. Once the text editor is open, let me just expand it for you. I will not make any entry at this moment and just go and press save. And when I'm prompted to create a name, I'll be renaming it as dot bash, give a underscore and write aliases, aliases. When you do it onto your systems, I want you to make sure that you give the exact name over here. Okay, now you just go ahead and save this file. This document is saved now. For the time being, I'll just minimize it. And I don't require this thing right now, so I'll just unhide all these things and close the window, because since we are learning Linux, we should be working on the terminal window most of the time and avoid using the graphical user interface. That is how you develop the interest working in the command line terminal. I know sometimes it might get boring, but that is how we all learn Linux. There is no easy way out of it. So let me clear the window right now. Okay. Coming back to our command that we had created in the last few tutorials, I'll just reiterate, and I want you to type the same command into your systems and keep guessing what the output is going to look like. Okay. So the command would be cat fruits.txt. I hope you understand it now. Then I'm using grep. Using the ignore case symbol, I'm giving the alphabet A, okay, as the pattern. Then I'll be using the sort command. Okay, I'm again using the pipe. I'll redirect the output midway to a file called sortedfruits.txt. Okay, again, create a file. I'm intentionally making this command more complex so that you understand how important it is to learn aliases. Then again, I'm doing a reverse sort. Midway, use the T command to save the output into a file. I'm giving the name reverse.txt. Use a pipe again. Use the xargs command to convert the output into a command line argument. I hope you understand it now. Then use the echo command. Okay, since echo accepts the argument, since echo will accept only the command line argument, that is why I have used the xargs command. Now I just give one text. I love to eat. Okay. I'm closing the inverted commas. Now I am redirecting this entire output to fruits2.txt. This is such a long command. Let me do one thing. I will not run this command over here. I will just copy it from here. Okay. I've I will just copy this entire command from here, and then I'll open my text editor of bash aliases file, and now paste this entire command in this one. Let me increase the font so that it is clearly visible to you. Let me increase the font so that it is clearly visible to you. Anyways, so this command is over here. What I'm going to do is I will start this thing. What I'm going to do is just give some prefix like alias, okay? And then I will give a name of my alias. So this name can be fruit salad, right? Looks like a delicious name. And then I will press the equal to symbol and then cover this entire command into a single inverted comma. Correct? I want you to make sure that there is no space between the equal to symbol, okay, the alias name. I want you to make sure while writing this command that there is no space between these three, okay, the alias name, the equal to symbol, and the inverted comma. Okay, one more thing which is very much important while you are creating an alias, this command, your alias name should be very unique and it should not be an already existing name, and it should not be an already existing command into the Linux system. Otherwise, there will be an ambiguity and you will not be able to run the command properly. So this is all we have to do. Let me just give you a quick explanation so that I make sure you understand this. I'm using alias. Okay, this is the command. And then I'm giving an alias name, which is supposed to be a unique and not matching to any existing Linux command. After that, I've made an equal to symbol, inverted comma, and within these two inverted commas, I have enclosed one command, one very big command. Okay. I hope there is no requirement to explain this entire command again, because in the last 3-4 lectures, I have covered this thing in entire detail. I won't, if still there is any confusion, I urge you, if you still do not understand this, I urge you to go back and if you still don't understand the meaning of this entire command, I urge you to go back to the last few chapters and rewatch the entire video. It is very well explained, and still if you have any doubt, the question and answer section is always open for your queries, and I'll be very prompt while giving you the answers. Now let me just save it and close this thing. Okay, now I actually don't need it. One more important, now since you have saved your bash.aliases file, you have to first restart the terminal window so that the command gets registered, so that the alias gets registered. Okay, now we'll restart. Ensure that there is no error displaying over here. Correct, there is no error shown. I mean, it means I am ready to go and write my command. So the entire command is ready. I just have to write the command. So now it is time. So now we are completely ready to go. So now our alias is ready and we are ready to execute our first alias. So the alias name that we had given was fruit salad. I'll press enter and I would like to see some kind of output getting generated. Okay. So when I press enter, what did just happen? Where's the output? So just go back few minutes and see the command again. The output is the entire command is written in such a way that no output will get displayed, but it will get redirected to one or the other files. So it's better that I just open my home directory and see if any document has got created. Yes, there are 4 different set of files that got created just by running this command. So let me just do ls-a. Okay, I'll open cat dot bash underscore aliases, and this is the command that I had executed. So let me just explain you with the output that I got onto the screen. So the fruits.txt file was already there. So the cat command took input from the fruits.txt file. It passed the entire command to the grep command, where all those fruit names which had at least one alphabet A in it was sorted out. Okay, it was then sorted to the entire output was then sorted alphabetically and stored in the sorted fruits.txt file. So I'm having sorted fruits.txt file. Just notice that everything is alphabetically arranged. Okay, then again we used the reverse sorting and stored this entire file into the reverse fruits.txt file. Just see, the everything over here is in a reverse alphabetical order. Correct? Finally, I passed the entire output to xargs, which converted the entire output of reverse fruit.txt file into a command line argument and gave it to echo, and echo then echoed the entire data in a format where it was written I love to eat, and all the fruit names would be written, and that got stored into fruits2.txt. Let me open and show you the fruits2.txt file. I love to eat and name of all the files in a reverse sorted order. So that was the first alias command that you just executed. Now since we already know aliases, since we already know how to create an alias, let's just go ahead again and quickly understand how aliases can also be used in a pipeline. Okay, so I open my .bash folder again. So I will open the bash underscore aliases folder again. Where is it? Yeah. And now I open it. I will create another alias. See, the beauty of this aliases folder is, see, the beauty of this bash underscore aliases file is I can create multiple of aliases in the same file. I don't need to create another and another aliases folders or files. See the beauty of this so just notice the beauty of this aliases file, that I don't need to create multiple files, but in the same file I will just create multiple aliases giving different names. So I will just use a very simple command so that it doesn't take much of your time. I'll just use my calendar, right? Given equal to double inverted commas, single inverted commas. Okay, and within the single inverted commas I will use cal dash a 1 dash b 1. I'm very sure that you Still remember this command? We saw this command in the first lecture where we had written our first Linux command. Okay. Now, since I'm going to pass this entire command across a pipeline to the echo command in our terminal, so what I'm going to do is I'll just put a x args over here so that it gets converted to a command line terminal. So that it gets converted into a command line argument. Now I'm done. I'll just save it, close this file. And what is the most important thing that you do after creating an alias? That is to just restart the terminal so that your alias gets registered to the terminal window. Okay. Now, since it is open without an error, I'm good to go. What I'm going to do is I'll just write the command, the alias name that I just got created. I'll write mycal. Okay. And I will pass this entire argument. So what I'm going to do is I can either write mycal and it is still waiting for a prompt. Okay. Remember that I have not given any prompt there. So what I'm going to do is I will give the prompt as 2024. So what I'm going to do is I'll give a prompt as 4th month of 2024. Okay, I'll press enter. सब गलत है, cross, clear. So since our alias is already created, I'm going to use echo command and then I'll be giving a value to it like 12th month of 2020. Okay, and then use the pipe symbol and write my alias name, mycal. So what is happening is I am passing this as a command line argument to mycal. Okay, I'm saying it a command line argument because in the alias file that I created, I had already used my xargs command to convert it the parameter. Now I'm going to pass this standard input to the mycal command, and the mycal command, which is the mycal alias, is already having xargs, which will convert this standard input to a command line argument and give it to the calendar command. So when I press enter, you can notice that as per the alias, I got the calendar displayed 1 month before and 1 month after the 12th month of December 2020. So that is how you can use aliases, which is in itself a very big command, with a pipeline. Okay. So aliases actually give you the privilege. So aliases actually give you the facility to use multiple command, like command 1, command 2 can be used, command 3 can be used, and so on.